Good afternoon. Welcome to First Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, Atlanta. My name is Trey Clegg, and I am the organist of this historic church. Our pastor is the Reverend Dr. Dwight Andrews. Today's organ recital in our ongoing series of monthly musical meditations features many of my own published organ compositions. I hope that the music of today will wash over your spirit and encourage your soul. Please invite your friends to join us on the first Wednesday of every month at 12 noon. We begin today's program with a fanfare on the famous Southern hymn, "How Firm a Foundation is Jesus Christ the Lord." This, being one of my favorite hymns of my childhood, was one of my first published organ fanfares in the book All Creatures Praise, published by Morning Star Music in 2006. I hope that you'll enjoy this exciting fanfare, which I actually wrote as an extended hymn introduction for congregational singing. We continue today's program with another fanfare based on the Southern hymn, "I Am Bound for the Promised Land." In 2010, I was commissioned by the Fred Bach Music Company in California to write this piece as part of a collaboration entitled the Golden Jubilee Collection that was put together as a book of organ music for Carolyn Hamlin, an organist in South Carolina who was retiring from the same church after serving it for 50 years. Other organists in this Golden Jubilee collection were Fred Swan, formerly of the Crystal Cathedral, Diane Bish, the concert organist for a long time who had the show The Joy of Music, Dr. Joyce Jones, the former organ professor at Baylor University, Joel Martinson, an organist from Texas, myself from Atlanta, and many others. It was an honor to be included in this book. So please enjoy this setting of "I Am Bound for the Promised Land" as you'll hear trumpets, angels, harp, and many other settings of what we might experience in the next life, the Promised Land. In the first decade of this century, I was playing organ recitals regularly all over the United States and Europe, and oftentimes I would be asked to do an encore. 3 of these such encores were improvisations that at the time I made up on the spot. The first of which was the spiritual Deep River, the second, the American hymn, Amazing Grace, and the third, the hymn, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Later in 2006, Morning Star Music in St. Louis published these 3 pieces of mine after I had written them down. Please enjoy the setting of these 3 hymns that are in my Amazing Grace 3 American Preludes collection, published by Morning Star Music. We continue today's program with the toccatina, which is a short toccata based on the hymn tune Lions, often paired with the text, "O worship the King." This comes from my published collection, All Creatures Praise, published by Morning Star Music. And this collection is a series of extended hymn introductions for congregational singing. Enjoy this toccatina on Lions. My very first piece was published in 2004 by Morning Star Music, which was a partita, that is, a set of theme and variations based on the hymn tune Winchester New, which we often sing to the text, "On Jordan's banks the Baptists cry," often sung on the second Sunday of January for the liturgical service of the baptism of our Lord. This piece was originally an improvisation that I created for an improvisation masterclass taught by the prominent organist John Ferguson of St. Olaf College in Minnesota. After I improvised it, it went so well, I thought I should write this down. And so after writing it and submitting it to Morning Star, it was immediately published. You'll hear different treatments of this hymn: a chorale, which is the hymn itself, a fugue, which is a contrapuntal setting, a bicentennium, which is a very fast two-part setting, a ritornello, which is a recurring theme, and then finally a toccata, millions of notes, that emphasizes the hymn tune. Please enjoy my first published piece, the partita on Winchester New. We continue with a canon on the hymn tune Lasst uns erfreuen, which we know as All Creatures of Our God and King. This is just a short canonic treatment with the left hand and the pedal playing in a round with each other while the right hand does a continuing ostinato pattern. Enjoy this festive extended hymn introduction again from my All Creatures Praise collection published by Morning Star Music on Lasst uns erfreuen. Next, we hear a setting of a German chorale, the English translation of which is, "If thou but suffer God to guide you." This is my favorite of the Bach chorales from his so-called Schubler chorales. I have several quotations of that chorale in my setting of this hymn tune, which is featured in my All Creatures Praise collection published by Morning Star Music in 2006. Please enjoy this lovely, light German chorale tune. Next, we hear a paraphrase on the grand hymn tune Crucifer, which we know as Lift High the Cross. I originally improvised this for a processional hymn many years ago, and later wrote it and submitted it to my publisher, Morning Star Music. And again, it is also included in my All Creatures Praise collection of extended hymn introductions. Enjoy this paraphrase on the hymn tune Crucifer, Lift High the Cross. In 2013, I was commissioned by the American Guild of Organists to write a piece that would be featured at the 2013 Southeast Convention of the American Guild of Organists. After doing my research, I decided to write as my principal material my favorite Christmas spiritual, Go Tell It on the Mountain. And I used the form of a toccata to illustrate this hymn tune. So in the collection that this was published, there were two other organists included. My friends, Dr. Jeanette Fischel, professor of organ at Indiana University, and Robert Powell. In this collection, Praise My Soul, we are all featured in our pieces from the 2013 American Guild of Organists Convention. Please enjoy this celebratory, exciting setting of Go Tell It on the Mountain. Thank you for joining us today for this month's organ meditation. If you enjoy these monthly organ recitals, please consider making a financial contribution to First Congregational Church with the memo line indicating monthly organ meditations. As you know, these programs for production are not free, and in order to continue them, it needs support. So thank you so much for your love and for your support and encouragement for monthly organ musical meditations at First Congregational Church. God bless you, dear friends. I love you.